The Form 1040 and other schedules that are used for reporting. What we're looking at here is just kind of that paperwork that needs to be submitted in all of the different forms and schedules that a taxpayer might be using in order to file their tax return and to show to the government all of their things that are included in income, all their deductions, all the tax payments they've made, what it is that they owe, what it is that they're owed as a refund from the government, and all of that reporting that needs to be done. There's a handful of main tax forms, and the more detailed you get in what these forms cover, the less likely it is that an individual taxpayer is actually going to have to use all of these other forms. We start with the Form 1040. This is the main one. All the taxpayers are going to have to submit this to the government. And if you have a very simple financial life, you've got a job and that's about it, then this may be all that you need to submit, and there's going to be nothing else other than this Form 1040. In the past, there used to be a number of different variants of the Form 1040. Right now, all there is a Form 1040 SR, which could be used for taxpayers 65 or older. And even if that Form 1040 SR is used, all supporting schedules and instructions are the same as they are for the Form 1040. So we have our 1040 that's got all of that basic information about our income and any deductions that we might have. If we have other things that are not included on the 1040, we're going to use supporting schedules. And we've got three here that we'll look at. We've got Schedule 1, additional income and adjustments to income, Schedule 2, additional taxes, and Schedule 3, additional credits and payments. And the way it works is that on the Form 1040, it says, put a number from Schedule 1 here. And then Schedule 1 is all the support that backs up that number that goes into the 1040. And so all these different schedules and forms all have to be connected to each other. The number on at the end of any of these schedules or forms has to go somewhere else. That has to go somewhere. That has to end up on the 1040. And so there's no form or schedule that just kind of exists in isolation by itself. But these are the three main supporting schedules: Schedule 1, additional income and adjustment to income; Schedule 2, additional taxes; and Schedule 3, additional credits and payments. And you don't need to memorize every schedule and what it's for, but a few of the main ones you'll just kind of learn simply by going through all of the material that we have. But these are the three main supporting schedules. Now, each of these schedules have schedules that can feed up into it. So we'll look at these briefly. Schedule 1, additional income and adjustments to income. This is used to report, as the name would indicate, additional income and things that adjust it. So we're looking here at unemployment compensation, prize or award money, gambling winnings, claim adjustments to income, student loan interest deductions, self-employment tax, educator expenses, a lot of things here that fall into Schedule 1. And then a taxpayer who's using Schedule 1 may need to attach additional schedules to support the numbers that are on Schedule 1. And so a taxpayer might have Schedule C, profit and loss from a business, Schedule E, supplemental income and loss, or Schedule F, profit or loss from farming. Okay, now, you can see that if the taxpayer's not involved in farming, they're not going to have Schedule F. If they're not involved in their own business, they're not going to have a Schedule C. But depending on what a taxpayer's involved in, those financial transactions and endeavors that they're involved in, they may have some of these additional schedules. Now, Schedule 2 is additional taxes. This is going to be used by a taxpayer to report if they owe the alternative minimum tax, if they need to make excess advance premium tax credit repayments. Okay? If they owe other taxes like a self-employment tax, household employment taxes. Okay? They're going to have to use Schedule 2. And somebody who's using Schedule 2 may also use Schedule SE, self-employment tax. And they may also, if appropriate, use Schedule H, household employment taxes. Now, Schedule 3 is additional credits and payments, and this is additional credits and payments. The names are descriptive, which is very helpful in all of this process. They use Schedule 3 to claim any credit that isn't claimed on Form 1040, so this would be the foreign tax credit, education credits, general business credit, other payments, the amount they paid as part of the request for an extension to file. So Schedule 3 is all of these additional credits and payments, and a taxpayer who's using Schedule 3 may also need Schedule R, credit for the elderly or the disabled. Now, in addition to schedules 1 to 3, we also have a number of different schedules that are referenced directly from the Form 1040. And again, if we look at the 1040, we'll see references to all these different schedules on it. And this is not a list of all the schedules and forms that are potentially out there, because if you look through these, you'll see that these schedules lead to forms, which all are the detailed calculations that support the numbers that slowly make their way to the 1040. So some of the other additional schedules that we'll look at some of these as we go through all the different things we cover. Schedule A is for itemized deductions. Schedule B is for interest and ordinary dividends. Schedule D is for capital gains and losses. Schedule J is income averaging for farmers and fishermen. Schedule 8812 is the additional child tax credit. And Schedule EIC is the earned income credit. And again, you don't need to memorize what every schedule is and all the details of every schedule, but I'm just putting this out here so you can kind of see how all of this gets built up. It all leads to the Form 1040, which is a very short form, not even two full sides of a piece of paper if you print it out. And these schedules provide the numbers for that to prove, to support the amounts that we're claiming as income, the amounts we're claiming as deductions or credits, whatever the case may be. But it all kind of files nice and neatly and leads one into the other. There's actually an order in which each form has, or each schedule has, where it is supposed to be filed and what order it's supposed to be filed based on everything that you have. And so it all kind of ticks and ties nicely and neatly together. But it's the Form 1040 that every taxpayer is going to be submitting. How many of these other schedules, how many other forms go in behind that? That's up to the individual circumstances of each taxpayer.